This is where the fun begins.
It is settled then. My wealth will fund the rebellion while Garm provides our fleet and Mon Mothma our soldiers.
Are you sure? So be it.
I have fought the worst of all wars and witnessed the redemption of evil. I have seen balance restored to the Force. But order can turn to chaos, as it did when I was born. Now, with my loved ones and my loyal allies, I face a new challenge unlike any before. And I'm not sure if this time we can win.
Star Wars Vector Prime by R.A. Salvatore, the first novel of the new Jedi Order.
Did you miss me?
Caf. Lots of it. For me and for the ready room. I have a feeling this mission is not one we can fly in our sleep.
I hate this thing because it doesn't unmute you when you put yourself in to your stream here. Good morning. Yeah, that's my first hello to you guys. I hate this stuff. Anyways, good morning, everyone. How are you guys doing? And welcome to Thursday morning Caf Chat here on OG Star Wars channels. I'm your host, Alora, or OG Star Wars, and I'm so pleased to be here with you. And my mind's going quicker than my speech. There we go, because I'm excited, right? And I'm excited to be here with you again for another Caf Chat talking New Jedi Order lore, getting through the New Jedi Order Enemy Line 1. Enemy Line 1. We are going to get into that timeline. We are going to get into a little bit of Halloween-ish Star Wars stuff as well. So Enemy Line 1 is Rebel Dream, and that is Aaron Alston. And many of us I would say many of us know him through the X-Wing series, and co-writer with Michael Stover complimented him, and if not, maybe made the X-Wing series and Wedge Antilles even better. So, what do you guys think about that? Yeah, so we'll be going into that timeline as well as getting into Cringe Factor. We're going to make some fun of the Ben Solo movie, I guess you can say, or I want to say cancellation, the halt of it, the denial of it. So we're going to get into that with the Cringe Factor as well as our LucasFacts and Book of the Weeks. But before we get started, let's go ahead and see who is arriving. Everybody's starting to drop in now, so I'm watching the numbers go up. You guys are amazing. As always, as you come in, if you haven't had a chance to already, smash that like button, get the stream out. I still have not did the link, so this could be on Rumble. However, we are on Twitter and we are on YouTube. So those who are watching on both platforms, thank you so much. If you want to get into the chat here, come over here onto the YouTube side and hop in the chat and have a conversation with us as well. Say hello. Let us know you're here. Or at least say hi in Twitter. I mean, I'm not going to respond to it. I don't have that right in front of me. And I can respond to it later on. Just let me know you're here. Smash that like button. And if you're catching the replay, as always, let me know you are here. And the most very important question is what's in your mug. What are you enjoying? Of course, I'm enjoying caf. For those who don't know, caf is the word for coffee in Star Wars. So caf. So I'm enjoying a nice cup of caf with a little bit of creamer in it, and that's it. That's it. And let's see who's in the chat, because this is what Caf Chat's about, is also communicating with you guys in the chat and having a great time with that. OG woke up early. Quick, grab some caf. Yes. And then we have LucasFilm Limited here. Hello. Yo, what's up? What's up? Getting in that slang, huh? And says, hope all is good, peace and respect. Well, back at you. Let's see, I dropped a like as I know how important that is, and subscribe. Thank you so much for tuning in, liking and subscribing, and becoming a part of the bigger world of OG Star Wars, George Lucas era of Star Wars. I am happy to have you here with us. And then we have Cannibal the Dragon, channel member here. Thank you so much. Hello, how are you doing? And let's see here, Star Wars Scran again. Good morning, Alora, and good morning to you as well. And wait, I just had my Talking EU interview with Scran this last Monday, so a few days ago. So if you have not had a chance yet, when we're done here, or when you have a chance, put it on, listen to. You don't have to necessarily watch it. It can easily just be like a podcast and just listen in. It was so much fun to get to know how Scran got into Star Wars, his I guess you could say his evolution, and still growing in the EU with reading new content, new books, I guess you could say, for him. And so it's been a pleasure watching his discovery of each book that he reads that he hasn't had a chance to read yet, and just brings you back to the good old days when we were getting those books and stuff and reading them and for the first time and stuff. So it's always fun to see a new reader's response and what their likes and dislikes are and all that. So yeah, so check out Talking to You with Scran. And let's see here. We have Gordon in here. I'm not used to these ats. I mean, I think it's something new, but on StreamYard it has at and your guys' name, and it's kind of weird. It looks weird. It looks weird. Yeah, but so we have Gordon, McDonald Gordon here. Howdy. So hello, how are you doing? Let's see here. I know you're saying hello to everybody, and here's the one to me. But I'm just acknowledging you're here. Thank you so much for hanging out. And then we have Darth Lucas Fu. So that's that's the thing. So it's showing this type of handle here. And so yeah, it's a new change. It's kind of weird, I guess you could say. I don't know. I don't know. It's crazy. I don't know. I'm all tripping out on that. And we have Nazo here. How are you doing, Nazo? And Edwin, what's up, Edwin? And let's see. Matthew is here. I laughed at the Smilo Ren was the first night of Ren. Disney Star Wars in a nutshell. I was going to look into that further. I wanted to do that up in Fresno and check it out to see if they have their source book there at Barnes and Nobles or something like that. But I haven't made it up there yet. I did, but only for yoga and only to take care of some employment stuff. And I needed to get home because I had other stuff to do, like in an interview with Scran. So that was put in the back burner. Ben Solo, who's that? Ha ha ha. Yeah, that's the Disney's equivalent of a child for Han and Leia. We all know that the true children are, for them, we had Jaina and Jason and Anakin. So there we go. And you are having water. Good choice. I did not have my cup of water yet. I usually when I wake up, I usually try to get some water. I always do. There's no try. Yeah, do or do not. There is no try, right? I know it's corny, but I had to. The opportunity was there. It was there. Yeah, I usually have my my water, then I'll have coffee, and then I'll go back to water. And I didn't do that yet. And we have Conrado here too as well. I know I didn't highlight your name, but here you are. The Hunt for Sword of the Jedi is more fitting name for a horse face boy. No, don't insult Jaina's name, Sword of the Jedi, with that. Okay. And then, okay, we have Lethal Nonsense here. Hello there. Hi, Lethal Nonsense. I know you're saying hello to Gordon, but I'm just acknowledging you as well. I love me some strong calf with bantha milk to take the edge off. Yeah, bantha milk is the blue milk, right? But bantha milk is the blue milk. And we have green tea. So Matthew has green tea. I used to drink 3 pots of coffee a day, not anymore. Woo wee, geez, that sounds like my grandma. I like it didn't matter. Like I'd make her a pot of coffee in the morning, and then even if it's cold, she would still drink it. So she was one of the founders of iced coffee. Hey, no, I'm joking. And when finally cold coffee, iced coffee came out, she tried it, but she'd rather just drink hers out of the pot. And the Odie, and see these ads, like your handles that you would have show up previously look different now. So yeah, so I have to read them more carefully. So I guess that kind of slows me down a little bit, but that's okay because my mind can get past what I need to talk about. I get excited, and yeah. Some of the Doctor Who fandom are slinging some hopium. You know, I haven't been keeping up on the Doctor Who end. So yeah. So, but I've seen a little bit here and there. It was fun. We had a good time. Thank you so much for letting me interview you and putting you in the hot seat. Putting you in that hot seat. Okay, let's see who else is we got. Decrepit here. How are you doing? And let's see here. Did I miss anybody? I don't see our Vato Soul Assassin just yet. But I'm still scrolling through. And Star Wars Grand said, it's annoying because I already learned everyone's name. Now it's changed. Yeah, I agree. It's like you have to like, oh, okay, some of the handles are still the same, somewhat the same, so you know who you're talking to. And then sometimes they're more or less different because that's how you signed up with your handle, I guess. I don't know. Diddly Squat is here. Let's see here. She made a Star Wars joke. Get her. What? OG doesn't put water in her calf. She's hardcore like that. Oh, okay. Yeah. Like it's strong. Yeah, those Americanos. So Americanos, we'll get into a little bit of coffee lore here, or facts, or whatever you want to call it. So Americanos basically are the shot of espresso with water, hot water, steamed water, boiled water, steamed water. Like trying to make it equivalent to steamed milk, I guess, but that doesn't sound right. Oh my goodness. And another fun fact about myself, I did at once was considering on opening a little coffee like shack here on the reservation. Yeah. Having a little coffee hut or kiosk made, because I can make a lot of the drinks. I know how to do that. I was thinking about doing that, but it didn't happen. But I was seriously thinking about doing that. But I am here with you guys right now, and enjoying seeing one of my kids' family grow and all of that. And it's been interesting. And my painting, my teaching yoga. Yeah. So here I am with you guys. Let's see here. Chase Hedges is here. I see you. George Lucas Star Wars is the best. I drink straight I drink straight up diesel to start my day. Jeez, I can't even read. What the hell? I couldn't even read that. What the fuck is wrong with me? I'm probably like, diesel, what? Calf with no cream, sugar is based. It's all black, all dark, and no flavor other than that of the coffee. All right, who else is coming in? I see you, Melissa Lord. What's up? How are you doing? Another channel member in the house. How are you doing? And it looks like I got everybody. I see Dennis down here as well. I don't know if I said hello to you yet or not, but I see you. French troops in Algeria around 1840 actually created iced coffee. Cool. I didn't even really thought about looking that up. So thank you so much, Gordon, for doing the work. That's amazing. That's cool. That I can imagine, like, you know, being like being on the war fields out there, you know, being out there on the lines, right? And then having your coffee, but not really able to heat it up sometimes, you know, and things come from the craziest places, right? Things come from the craziest places. Like we wouldn't expect it at all. Alrighty, but so let's play this one more time because I love Wedge Antilles, and we'll be talking about him a little bit in Caf Chat, or not in Caf Chat, we are doing that right now, in New Jedi Order.
Caf. Lots of it. For me and for the Ready Room. I have a feeling this mission is not one we can fly in our sleep.
So there you go. So we'll be talking about him as we talk about the New Jedi Order lore. Enemy Line 1, Rebel Dreams. So I don't know how many of you guys have got that far. If you're reading or rereading, let me know. Or if you read it before, let me know. I see Gordon Master, or Grandmaster Chris. Hello, how are you doing? How do you do? How do you do? I swear I can English today. I can. I swear I can. All right, let's see here. And I'm still technically working on apologies if I'm not modding very well. No, you're good. It's all good. I'm not picky. I'm not picky at all. As long as you can get some links out, if you can. If you can't, that's okay. And just keeping, excuse me, everyone in line. Everyone in line. Let me see her. Nazo says, I'm not there yet. Need to have a Dark Journey stream. See, what I'm doing is I'm finishing up Dark Journey. But for Caf Chat, we're not doing book review. So it's not like I'm in dire need to finish right away so that I can keep up with what we're doing here on Caf Chat. I've already read these before. So... and the lore talk basically is about the events going on in that particular timeline of the book. So each book is a marked timeline as we move through New Jedi Order. So not necessarily a book review, but talking about events, characters, what's going on, the state of the galaxy. And that's what we're doing today. So we're doing the Yuuzhan Vong and the state of the galaxy today. And a lot has shifted. We have, like I said, Alston is the author of this duology. So we know there's going to be a lot more action, like Starfighter action and stuff like that. You're going to have more Wedge Antilles. You're going to have more of you know, the Rogue Squadron, other squadrons, and the Wraith in here as well. So we know what's going to happen, or what the formula is for him, I guess you could say. But also, you know, his contribution to the New Jedi Order, which is amazing because it's not like they're skipping a beat just because all of a sudden, boom, we have Wedge back. Well, he's not back. He has returned already. We already know that. But now he is now, you know, fully in charge of the Third Fleet, I think it's called. And yeah, and what's going on with the state of the galaxy, basically, the new Republic, whatever's left of it. And now him taking command, I guess you can say, and deciding where they need to go. So very good segue from Dark Journey, setting up Jaina for her role coming up, and it's beginning now. So it's a good setup, and he took that baton and did well with that setup as well. So that's what I have to say about that. So my reading versus talking about the lore here, it doesn't have to you know, be together, or we'd be screwed because sometimes I can get time in to read. And then there's other things that go on in my life. Like, you know, I have to pick up some paintings that I have been putting off for a while. I have to finish those off. I still have been working on my Sith Eyes stuff and other things as well as life. And there's a lot of factors going on with that. So if we waited for me to finish up a book to go into the next timeline, we would be here longer going through the New Jedi Order events. So there we go. And of course, we know that there's no source book for part 2 of the New Jedi Order. And the source book that we went through, that I used to help get my notes and stuff up is basically ended at Star by Star. So that's kind of a big disappointment in a sense that there's no part 2. There's no continuation of the source book, the RPG source book of the New Jedi Order. Kind of sad. And I wish that they would have continued doing a part 2, because that source book is amazing, because it gave you a lot of history for the Vong, for the New Republic and stuff like that. And it would have been really good to see like the forming of the Galactic Alliance after the fall of the New Republic, and all that with Cal Olmos, and and then the changing of the guard in a sense with the Yuuzhan Vong, and Wedge Antilles back in the picture, more so than what we've seen so far, and all of that. It would have been great to see all this evolution going through this historical timeline in another source book. But there's the Bible, I guess you could say, that I need to go to my email, and I just now realized I have some sources there, and I have to go to my email and dig up that was sent to me by Pierced. So there we go. Anyways, that's a lot, right? That's a lot. So enemy line 1. Enemy line 1. Now, this is just a bit of Alston question for you guys. Those listening on Twitter and those listening here on YouTube. Let me know, what is your favorite novel from Alston? With all the novels he's written for George Lucas era Star Wars, what is your favorite novel of his? You guys have to have one, at least one. And so when you think about it, what's the one that stands out in your mind? What does that one stand out in the mind? So Gordon says, I thought it was so cool that Wedge Antilles was played by Dennis Lawson, uncle to Ewan McGregor, who played Obi-Wan. It was the will of the Force. Yeah, I get it. Yeah. Let's see here. The post Return of the Jedi book I read was before the storm on the Force Unleashed right now. Oh, cool. All right. Awesome. And it's always good to, it's like, even if you're not following along, or you're like, oh, wait, we're doing a new Jedi Order Renaissance kind of thing, or reread or read through. If you're finding out about this, but you're currently reading somewhere else within the timeline of George Lucas era of Star Wars, that's cool. I want to hear about that still, because you're still going and reading and getting involved with the lore that you love, right? So, and there's no sense, I want to say there's no sense, and you're not going to be forced to be like, oh, you have to read with us to be on Caf Chat when we talk about it. No, you could still be reading something else like Dark Lord of the Sith or whatever, and still participate. And if you haven't read New Jedi Order yet, you're going to get some spoilers. You're going to get an idea of what's happening. So hopefully that encourages you to pick up Vector Prime and start reading through. That's exactly what this is about, is sparking the interest, re-sparking the interest, talking about what we love, and even the stuff that's slow and stuff that we didn't agree about and stuff like that. Because of course, there's always going to be those hit and misses too as well. But does it mean that the lore is bad? No, it just means at the time we're like, well, they tried, but it wasn't that successful here, but we get what they're doing. And, and usually a hit and miss doesn't necessarily ruin the continuity. It's just kind of slow, and you're like, okay, well, that book was there. It's there. I get what they were doing, and we'll just push on. All right. So let's see what you guys are saying in the chat. And Silver is here. Ogre is here. Sorry, I'm late. Got my calf now. Yes. Hello. How are you doing? And again, I want to apologize to my channel members who are waiting for us to have our book club. I totally fucking dropped the ball. I did. I didn't even make a link. And then the Sunday just went like, whoo, just like over my head. And didn't realize that, oh shit, I missed the book club with you guys until Soul Assassin's like, I guess we're not having it again, huh? And I'm like, oh fuck, I didn't realize the time got away from me. I apologize. Just one of those times where it's like, finally I got to sit down and slow down, and I was anticipating it too beforehand, like on Friday. It's like, yeah, I got to make the link, blah blah blah, and then time got away from me. I got really busy, but I was anticipating because I was like, oh, Sunday is my day. I can just slow down and have book club with my channel members. And fuck, I just dropped the ball. I apologize. I apologize. Shit happens. Let's see here. Discussing the EU is always good. Yes, it is. And didn't Alston write one of the film novelizations? I don't recall. No, he didn't. I don't recall. Let's see here. Return of the Jedi novelization probably tied with the novelization of Star Wars, aka The Adventures of Luke Skywalker. If it hasn't been to be post 80s EU, I will pick Heir to the Empire or X-Wing. Okay. Let's see here. And honestly, I would love to see Alora sell her art at one of the EU conventions so she can cosplay as Delilah Blue. Ah, okay. Well, if there's ever one that I agree to go with, that's, I will. I have considered, like, if we were going to, the one that was supposed to be in Texas, I was highly considering on getting a vendor booth and doing that, representing the channel and representing the art that I have. And then meeting you guys and then possibly going live at one of those times. So that's something that I've been considering. So tuned. You never know what's going to happen in the future. Although I really love the Daily Hunt trilogy and AC Crispin as well. Yeah. So what is your favorite Aaron Alston? Aaron Alston. I don't know why I fucking renamed him Alan, like, because it's Alston, Alan Alston. I don't know why that rolled out of my tongue like that, my mouth like that. Aaron Alston. What is one of your favorite Aaron Alston novels? So you guys are also saying what is your favorite novels in the EU? But what is one of your favorite Aaron Alston? Let's see here. Please talk about Kenner's supposed revival of the Return of the Return of the Jedi. Kenner, like the figure company. Solo Command. Interesting. Okay. All right. Solo Command. Okay. Anybody else before we get into the lore here? Today's more of a keep. Oh, no. You know what we got to do? Jeez, Laura. We got to do our LucasFacts and our book of the week before we get into the lore. So let's do that while you guys share with me what is one of your favorite Aaron Alston books. But let's go ahead and get into this while you guys tell me.
That's great.
It's going to be great.
That's going to be great.
It's going to be great.
That's going to be great.
All right, so LucasFacts. Here we go. I always love to share LucasFacts, whether it is his company, from his company, or from him, because his company is representing him and what he wanted for the greater of the Star Wars franchise, as well as the other, franchises and other films and stuff he made. But we are here specifically for Star Wars. So here we go. We set perimeters. It had to be an important extension of the continuity, and it had to have an internal integrity with the events portrayed in the films. Howard Rothman, president of Lucas Licensing. So he's talking about the EU and how it's established and how it had to have how it had to be an important part of the extension of the continuity. It had to have internal integrity and with the events and portrayal of the films. So I thought that was very important to get out, because those perimeters, those rules were very important to George Lucas. And it's kind of funny how, and it's sad too, how people don't get George's humor and take him so seriously on some things. And then also taking a quote that we've never heard from George saying directly and used in the faith of George Lucas, saying that he thinks continuity is for wimps. And then you look at George Lucas's actions majority of the time and his actions for the company. And that's one thing that he wanted to make sure that was had oversight on, is the continuity. And he wasn't the one to keep track of the continuity. That's why he hired people like Howard Rothman and everybody that worked in the Lucas licensing basically was the department. And then there was Lucas Books within that department. I believe it's a sub-department to that. I could be wrong, but then there's Lucas Books. But you had the continuity keepers. And Strong is one of the earliest ones who started keeping track of that. And we have Soul Assassin in the house. I was wondering what's going on. Narvato is here. And so going back, it's like squirrel. Okay, I'm done. Going back and thinking back to original Star Wars lore, that was one of the main things that was highly celebrated, was the continuity and how it turned out to be a historical timeline of this fictional reality. I wouldn't say reality, this fictional fantasy, sci-fi fantasy, if you want to say that, this, the mythology, whatever, that George Lucas created. And because of this, he got world records for like the most books tied to the movies. You can go and look at one of the, I think it's the Essential Reader's Guide, and go through there and see how well the continuity was kept. Yeah, there's continuity notes in there about like George being involved, and also like this kind of contradicts here and there or whatever, but there's more. It's more fluid than it is not, I guess you could say. It's more fluid than it is not. And for like 30 years of maintaining continuity and watching the franchise expand in so many and I want to say directions because of the single timeline, but so many projects, like under books, under games, all of that, the multimedia franchise, that was a feat to take care of, is that continuity. And they did a great job. So even when Disney was talking, oh, well, we want a better continuity, we want to make it, seamless, talking as if it's never was another thing that they're trying to, I guess you could say, brainwash fans with, or their fans with, the younger fans with, for them to think, oh, well, Star Wars was never kept in a good continuity state. It was a mess. And we hear that all the damn time. And, I've talked, and I'm going back to it again, talking about the Mandala effect. That's exactly what's going on, is this Mandala effect, to where the newer generation or so coming up will be like, oh, there was never a continuity until Disney bought the company. And it's kind of like slowly erasing like a revisionist history, right? Like this revisionist history. So with these LucasFacts and stuff that I share, it's going to keep it out there. This channel is going to keep it out there. Let me see what you guys are saying, because I went on a little tangent there. I stepped up on my soapbox, and I went for it. And I will continue. I will continue with that. I will. It's gonna be great. That's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. Yeah, I like that. And let's see. Unfortunately, I haven't yet had the pleasure of reading one of Aaron Alston's ebooks. Oh, I can't wait till you do. So I guess you haven't made it through the X-Wing series yet, so or fully through it yet. So I'm excited to hear about it once you do. So Assassin, I'm here. Had bad wind come through last night, but here's where fine. Here's where fine. Oh, fine. How are you all? I don't know if I read that right. I'm like failing with English today, you guys. I don't know. Let's see here. Smash the like. Smash the like. Yes. And Scran was doing quite a good job modding while you were absent. I'm glad the wind did not blow you away, Soul Assassin. Yeah. Continuity is the key. It's real to me, dang it. Ha ha ha. Yeah. Yeah, Lucas won records for the longest fictional timeline. And Luke, yo, keep up the cool stuff. Thank you so much. And I'm surprised Lucas allowed Weston Games to create lore and name characters, and he allowed the EU writers so much freedom. He allowed freedom in a sense, but he vetoed a lot, and so did his continuity keepers, his editors and stuff like that. And rightfully so. And he also recommended Weston Games to the authors so that everything can be kept basically in one continuity. Isn't that amazing? Like you could tell, like with the author saying, George gave us Weston Games, these source books and stuff like that. Well, George had to have read and had to have known of them to want to give it to them to keep continuity and stuff like that. So that's amazing. It reminds me of the scene where Obi-Wan takes Anakin Saber on Mustafar, a scene that wasn't filmed, but he went back to do it because of continuity. Yeah. And things change a little bit here and there because of the fact that it has to fit, and sometimes the storyline for a film and stuff like that. And we see that with the OT has to change directions for whatever reason and stuff like that. Now, people say, oh, well, George changed this, and this when it came to the OT and broke continuity. No, because like there was never anything in like Star Wars, basically A New Hope, saying that Luke and Leia were or were not brother and sister. So there you go. Now, if it said they were, then that's breaking continuity, or like they, if they weren't, if it said they weren't, that would be breaking continuity. And people jump the gun with that. They don't realize, like, if there's something that's not said, then it just opens, it keeps the possibility open, whether it could be taken in a different direction if it needs to be. Would work on your mix a bit. Your room tone is coming through, and we can hear, and can hear reflection. Reflection of what? Reflection of what? No, my room, I'm in my art studio, so I have some windows and stuff, and it's fine. It's all good. It's all good. The continuity mess didn't start until Dave Filoni has his stupid TCW. Correct. His TCW. Always. And the Mon Cal effect. Okay, let's see here. And let's get into now, since we're talking about books and stuff. And those who are jumping on, I wanted to know, what is your favorite Aaron Alston book? What is your favorite Aaron Alston book? And with that being said, let's get into our next little segue here. And you guys may know what it is.
I hate to say it, but it looks like the item you're searching for doesn't exist.
Impossible. Perhaps the archives are incomplete.
If an item does not appear in our records, it does not exist.
All right. So what do you think this book is going to be? Let's see here. It is Death Troopers by Joe Schreiber. And I thought about this, and I think I'm going to, because we're coming up on Halloween, and the next Thursday we are, basically past Halloween. I think next week I'm going to have something that's still Halloween related, because I think it's worth it. I was going to do two book of the week because of that, but no, I think I'm just going to spread it out a little bit more. So little bit of, I guess you could say, foreshadowing here. But Joe Schreiber, the author of Darth Troopers. Now, how many of you guys read this? And the cover is by Indica. Hardcover was published on October 2009. Paperback, October 2010. Timeline 1 BBY. The Day of the Dead, literally, right? For those who have like the Mexican ancestry or whatever. Dia de los Muertos. There we go. I think I got it right. Day of the Dead. So that is being celebrated now with like the different like it goes like Soul Assassin. How long does it go along for? Like there's certain days where you you honor a past dead pet or a certain relative or those people who don't there's so many different little aspects of that. Excuse me, let me go ahead and get this little cough out. But anyways, Day of the Dead. Literally, yeah. Let's see here. I like Death Troopers, but I am not 100% sold on the ending. Yeah, I know. And there's a little controversy and there's All Souls Day, correct? Continuity wise, Death Troopers is before The Force Unleashed 2. Let's see here. And October 27th through November. That's right. So it goes on for a little bit. It goes on for like a week or so, a little over a week or something like that. Oh, that's less than a week. But anyways, it goes on for a few days. Yeah. And there's certain days you celebrate certain aspects of your family life when it comes to death, the mourning of, pets and grandparents or children or whatever. And there's altars made, very beautiful. Certain food is given on the altar and all of this stuff. So pretty cool. Yeah. Dark Side Zombie features Han Solo and Chewbacca. I was a bigger fan of Red Harvest, and that's what everybody says. I was going to get to that before I start talking a little bit about Day of the Dead. I like the prequel more, Red Harvest. Yeah. And I think that's a lot of like the conclusion I get from a lot of people is they like, geez, my voice. They like Red Harvest better. Let me take a drink. All right. Let's see here. When Han tells Luke he's seen a lot of strange things, Death Trooper comes to mind. Great point there. Great point. And Disney and Filoni ripped off zombie stormtroopers for the stupid Ahsoka show. Of course, I know. I think we talked about that before. And let's see here. So here's the continuity notes here. Oh, man, my voice wants to go out now. That's not cool. All right. I need some lemon water. All right. The first fully focused adult horror novel in the expanded universe, the cover art brought considerable notoriety for its bloody stormtrooper helmet hanging from a chained hook. The fans' anticipation of the novel prompted Del Rey to elevate it to a hardcover release. So imagine that. Because of the hype, just the image, and just maybe a little bit of what it's supposed to be about, like a little bit of like spoiler, maybe not, I don't know, of what it's supposed to be, got everybody hyped. And because the hype was so much, and this is back, we did have social media. It wasn't very much prominent yet, but it was there. And it ended up having the online promotion was massive. So this is where I'm going back to online here. Like I said, we had online. It's not as massive as it is now. Like there's so much growth now versus back in 2008, 2009. And Del Rey reached out to the fan community to have a novel style video trailer for its release. And there's also like people on social media back in that day, probably it was MySpace or something like that. I think there was even a Twitter one as well, where some fans were, portraying some of these zombied storm death troopers or whatever and promoting that way as well. So it was something that was highly anticipated. And you really don't see that anymore. You don't see that anymore with Disney Star Wars. It's crazy, like with these novels and stuff. Like just imagine and, being there at the time, like, and seeing the hype of this novel coming out. And this is like a few years, like maybe like 4 years before the buyout or something like that. And the hype was real back then, even close to the buyout. The hype was real, and fans were amazing. They had a good time with this one here, so much that the hardcover it was relegated to a hardcover release. Now, do you guys, any of you guys here that read it, do you guys have the hardcover? I bet you it's hard to find now. I bet you the hardcover is hard to find, and if you find it, it's going to be a pretty penny. Yes, sir. Now, let me see what you're saying here. You still haven't found Red Harvest? What? What? Well, probably without the Legends label on it. Probably, I'm guessing. Let's see here. You know what? Let me see. I think I have Red Harvest on my shelf. Death Troopers equals the name of the black armored stormtroopers from Rogue One. Let's see here. The trailer is pretty cool. And you know what? I didn't even think about looking or searching it up to share with you guys. I should have done that. Let me see here. Let's see here. I should have done that. I just didn't even think. Well, I was thinking about it yesterday when I was creating this image here, but then I just never followed through. Didn't have follow through with it. I remember seeing it on shelves and books at Books A Million as a kid. Oh, I bet you that was fun to see. You're like, ooh, that looks creepy. That looks scary. Let's see here. When it came out, The Walking Dead show was a very popular, and zombie films were everywhere. Yes, I remember that, the zombie craze. I was never a person into zombies, although I was interested in reading this book and stuff, but I was never interested. I'm not a zombie person, so I was never into that big hype of zombies back then. Let's see here. The zombies in this book are actually an allegory for Filoni fanboys. They made a Twitter profile of a stormtrooper in connection with its novel. The whole thing can be found on Joe Bongero's website. Yes, that's right. I remember that. Let's see here. Death Troopers versus Marvel Zombies versus Black Lanterns. Let's see here. I listened to the audiobook years ago, and I think there's some people that revisit this for this time of year. It's like an annual read for them. They just revisit some of these more spooky-ish, gruesome-ish type Star Wars novels like Red Harvest and Death Troopers and all of that. Disney will re-release Death Troopers with a new AI cover. They already did. There is already Essential Legends one already. I'm mad that I only got into the EU after buyout, so never got the experience following real Star Wars while it was still coming out. And that's fine. We're happy you're here with us nonetheless, because now you are contributing to celebrating George Lucas' era of Star Wars and keeping it alive. You sent me the trailer. I was keeping my eyes open for that. Okay, before we get into the new Jedi Order lore, we will watch this trailer. Let's see here. In fact, I got to open up Twitter because I have to pull a link off from there anyways that I saved or shared, I sent to myself. Okay. Let's see here. Thank you so much, Soul. There we go. All right. Let's make the screen bigger. Well, I need to move around first. All right. Okay, make sure I'm at the right one here. Let's go ahead and take this, remove this here. I already read what I needed to in there. And we are going to play the trailer. Why not? Why not? All right. And let's make it bigger. All right. Are you guys ready for this? I'll make sure the volume's up. Make sure it's sharing. Let's bring this here. All right. All right. Let's go. Let's do this.
disturbance was reported in Sector 10. Hold your positions. Alpha 956 reporting in. Visuals identifies nothing. Yes, I'm there, but I don't see anything. Continue to look up. What was that? Step into the light. Stop or I'll shoot.
And there you go. There's a trailer, short, sweet, and simple there. Del Rey, like I shared, Del Rey basically, encourage some fans. They reach out to the fan community to have a movie style video trailer for its release. Now, this is what George Lucas is big on, getting fans involved, right? So he loved the parodies. He loved to see the creativity that fans can come up with through his Star Wars, like what they can come up with. And it's kind of celebration of creativity that George Lucas did with fans, in a great way to communicate with fans as well. And so it wasn't like gory and all this other stuff, but we kind of get an idea like what the hell's going on. We got to read it. Didn't give you huge spoilers in that trailer either, but it was enough. And but Del Rey couldn't do this without the permission of Lucasfilm as well. So I think that was amazing. It was so cool. I loved it. Yes. Yeah, I agree. And so nowadays you really don't get to see a lot of that because Disney is a corporation, right? Disney is the parent company of Lucasfilm. So that's why we say Disney Lucasfilm, because it's no longer under George Lucas. And the perimeters of it is so different. Like even with fans, it's like night and day. And the day is George. The night is Disney. The light is George. The dark is Disney. And, so celebrating stuff like this and the fan parodies and stuff, maybe one day for Caf Chat, because we're still going through New Jedi Order lore talk. So maybe we'll have a break and we'll get into like all the fun fan parodies and even the parodies that were made outside of Lucasfilm by other companies or other film art cartoon companies, I guess, like networks. There we go, networks that work with George to create parodies. Maybe we'll go through that and talk about that and celebrate George celebrating the fans and basically his humor. His humor was something that led to this. And but because this was such a hype, it was released as a hardcover. That is telling how much fans were into Star Wars and love Star Wars and how much Lucasfilm loved their fans. There was no gaslighting. There was no anticipation of setting up this BS political talk about racism and stuff like that, right? And the ists and phobes. There was none of that. There was just pure excitement for a new adventure to come out. And it was fucking amazing. Now, speaking of amazing, let's get into our lore talk here. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and do a video segue into this because I think it's proper to honor our friend Matt Wilkins, and play this before we get into what we're going to get into.
Someone asked me to give the best reason why someone should read the expanded universe. After giving it a lot of thought, here's what I have to say. The expanded universe respects the reader. In the expanded universe, Luke Skywalker's optimism continues where it left off in Return of the Jedi. He's fulfilled hope to the galaxy, just like Obi-Wan said he would, not like the Disney movies where he gave up on the Jedi or even the whole galaxy for that matter. The character you see in those movies is not Luke. Luke isn't a quitter. He's not a pessimist. He's a leader. He's inspirational. And he's always there for his friends in times of need. Another character is Han Solo. He's introduced to us in A New Hope as a loner, a man who cares only for himself and nobody else. But by the end of Return of the Jedi, that all turns around when he finally finds friends he can trust and a true love to spend the rest of his life with. And that's exactly what he does in the expanded universe. Han is a devoted husband and father to Leia and their kids. He loves his family above all else. In the new movies, Han turns out to be a selfish deadbeat dad who ran out on his family when things get tough. It's a complete 180 from the character that we saw from Return of the Jedi. Now, another thing the EU does is it rewards its readers. Attention to detail when it comes to continuity has never been done at such a level as when it was performed by the expanded universe. Avid readers will constantly be rewarded for their diligence as comics, novels, video games, and even children's books share connections throughout the entire series, making it almost a flawless, continuous story. And though it has its minor flaws, it's still the best overall story and continuity out there, period. That's what the EU does. It respects and rewards its readers. And that's the best reason you should give it a try. Long live the expanded universe.
Long live the expanded universe. And, that's what this is all about, right? So new Jedi Order lore talk, timeline, Enemy Line 1, Rebel Dream. And then, so we're going through the duology timeline. I'm doing one at a time, but we're doing the introduction of the state of the galaxy, what's being set up, and we'll talk about the factions and stuff next week. And then the Yuuzhan Vong. So that's where we're at. And I know that our fellow New Jedi Order Renaissance creator, I guess you could say, purist, or Bane, usually he now only listens to it on YouTube and can't participate in the chat. But I would like to just shout out to him. We had our lore talk as well with him not too long ago, and that was a good time as well. So we have Scran here. I'm back heading home for some Caf. Awesome. Drive safe while you listen. And then follow him on Rumble. There you go. There you go. Let's see here. Justice for purists. Yes. All right. So that being said, new Jedi Order, we are now, I say almost near the halfway point. There's 19 books. Oh my God, 19 books. Oh, excuse me. That sounded deflated, didn't it? 19 books and a big ol' yawn. Oh my God. So much work. 19 books, and we are finally on the duology here. That was funny. Oh my God. I crack myself up sometimes, and hopefully I make you guys laugh as well. So here we are. Aaron Alston. I want to say Al. I don't know why I keep on doing that today. I know his name. Say my name. Say my name. Say it right, at least, right? Man, 19 books. A yawn. I know. Can you believe you started New Jedi Order back in January? I know, right? And we're like now in the coming up on the 11th month. We're in the 10th month here, and we are on book. I'm like, I want to get the number right. So let me look at the book number, or the book order here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We are on the 11th book. So we're pushing now towards the center, towards the middle of this 19 book series. 19 books, yawn. It's a good thing you're not an egg. All the cracking up you'll be doing. Ha ha ha. I know. I get it too. Yeah. So New Jedi Order, Enemy Lines, book 1. We're in that timeline. And I just like this cover, so I just keep on leaving it the way it is. And here we go. So basically now Coruscant is hit. I don't have anything. I have to look up. I didn't look it up. Is there I think this is in the Atlas, I think. Now I'm thinking, and am I sure? Crap. Anyways, so this one here, I don't know if you see my cursor. I'm acting like you can. The one with the black dots and the yellow line around it are the Vong. We went through this before. The Vong, the invasion, whether they took the planet or destroyed it or what have you. So they took the planet basically. And I'll show you. We'll get to what I'm getting to here pretty soon. So they are making their way towards Coruscant, and here we go. And then we have this here. I juxtaposed 2 of the major timeline maps here. That's from the Atlas. Yeah, from the Atlas here to show you could see everything that's taking going towards Coruscant. So we are now, Coruscant is fully taken now by the Vong. And so is Borlaeus. So the state of the galaxy and the Yuuzhan Vong, and I should have made my bullet points on here to fully go where I need to go on here, but that's okay because this is just a setup talk here. So state of the galaxy. So now everybody's fled. The so-called New Republic counselors, all of them have fled. Phalia is dead, so Puo is now resuming leadership, I guess you can say. And they formed an advisory council. So this is the state of the galaxy. They formed an advisory council, and they want to take Borlaeus back because everybody who's fleeing from the Vong from different areas of the galaxy now can't make their way to Coruscant. And those who don't know that Coruscant has been taken, will be in for surprise. But now they will probably be heading, and this is what they predicted, and this is why they're taking it back, Borlaeus. So Wedge is part of that, is a major player of that campaign, And like I said, I should have written down all the factions that were formed during this time, but I did not. I was too busy with my sweet little Taco Jaw, my baby granddaughter. And this right here, and I wish I could zoom it in. You see the claw here? That is where they were moving. That was all the plan. So the claw is going towards the center of the galaxy. Of course, Coruscant here. Coruscant is the capital. Once the capital of a country, or in this instance, the galaxy is taken, everything starts collapsing. Chaos begins. People don't know where to go. Hope is being lost. There's so much going on. What? Someone has taken Coruscant? The nerve. Or that never happened before. Let's see here. The original resistance, right? Wedge and Tilly's founding the resistance against the Vong. Nice. Yeah. It's good thing that you're not an A. Oh, I read that one already. All right. So I'm just reading up from the chat here in front of me. And let's see here. I'm trying to find the name. I think it's called the council now is the advisory council. So there's basically no seat of the council right now. And Puo is has formed the advisory council. And he went in there to talk to Wedge and them on Borlaeus after Borlaeus was taken back. But they're being prepared to being hit by the Vong again. And through that, Wedge sees through Puo's deception, and they form a resistance. And that resistance is called Insiders. What? Resistance? We've heard that before, right? Resistance and the Disney trilogy. This is something completely different than what it almost has the same like I'm gonna let you guys be the judge of this, because the events that happen here versus the Disney's version of their fall of their republic, New Republic, is it's different. And one thing, Luke is involved. That's the major player in this. Him and Wedge. And then the Vong, because the Borlaeus was taken from him, Sovereign Law is being, was it Sovereign Law? No, it's not. Sorry, it's not. Anyways, Sovereign Law himself is now planning to recapture, to finally destroy their fighting forces. So this is where we are in the state of the galaxy. And the advisory council is just setting up for these guys to be taken down, because if they are defeated, they think that they can negotiate themselves out of this hardship, this overcome, this defeat. So that's what's going on with the state of the galaxy. It's fucking crazy right now. And with this, the Twin Suns has been formed now. So those of you guys, and I planned on wearing my t-shirt and having my mug, so I'm going to do it next week. So I'll be on camera. Twin Suns is formed, and Luke is the founder of Twin Suns. And Jaina then gets promoted to commander. And they are now fighting with psychological warfare as well as the old fighting style of the Rebel Alliance. And so I want to play this here for you guys. Let me go ahead and pull up the YouTube clip. Because like I said, I wanted to share the state of the galaxy with you guys. And let's see here. Like, it's going to be short and simple, sweet. Let me see here. There we go. All right. I don't want to play you just yet. All right. Let me share this. Let me remove this, though. This is a EU short I shared on my channel. Let's see here. How can I?
Wedge said, I think that we're right.
Okay.
Finally, Wedge said, I think that we're right at the edge of annihilation. Not just the government. Our entire culture, our history, gone without a trace. His voice hoarsened. I'm not going to let that happen. So here's what I propose. He drew his blaster and shoved it to the center of the conference table. Anyone need a blaster? I'm willing to put it out there because there's no one in this room I'd hesitate to put my life in the hands of. And that's how I propose we build this resistance. For the time being, don't bring in anyone you wouldn't trust your life to, or your children's lives. We'll set up contacts, bases, and cells the old Rebel Alliance way. While the New Republic hits the enemy where they're strong, we'll figure out how to hit them where they're weak. And if, or when, the New Republic finally falls, we'll be here to hit the Yuuzhan Vong both ways, mixing hard and soft styles.
All right, so there we go. And this is why I love Aaron's writing style so much, is that he's so meticulous with looking at the events, looking at the past events and tying them in, the historical events and tying them in. And him and Matthew Stover really, really got Wedge's character down so well. Now, here is I wouldn't say it's a controversy question, but maybe it's a heated one. I don't know. Who do you think wrote Wedge better? Stover or Aaron? Stover or Alston? Who do you think wrote him better? Or do you think they both did such a good job that they complemented each other? There's the middle ground. I'd rather not take the middle ground. Who do you think? There's the middle ground. It's like that. It makes the other questions obsolete, right? But who Who wrote Wedge better, Stover or Alston? I would say Aaron Alston. Yes, Grandmaster. I see that. Hi, Bunsbook. I see you. Thank you for jumping in. It's okay if you're late to the party. We are talking about, we are now in the enemy line portion of the timeline of the new Jedi Order. So we're talking, I'm just sharing the setup of this timeline, this part of the timeline, the state of the galaxy and the Yuuzhan Vong. All right, let's see here. And I'm so bad with author names and this era of the timeline. Soul Assassin. Yes, I know your weak point is kind of post Return of the Jedi, right? So Grandmaster said, I say Aaron. Yeah. Those who have read may have a better choice. And like I said, there's that middle ground, but I want to hear, like, which author did you resonate more with when it came to Wedge and Tilly's? You know, so Stover or Alston? Matthew not Stover, I'm sorry. Stackpole. I don't know why I said Stover. Look, I'm getting these guys confused. Stackpole or Alston? J.J. Abrams wrote Wedge better. Holy shit. Now, if I could flip you off right now, I would. So I was saying Stover earlier. I'm sorry. It's Stackpole. Stackpole or Alston? Should do a chat poll, OG. Maybe next time. Anyways, so here we are. We have Wedge and Tilly's back in the mix, like fully back in the mix. He was there in the background. They brought him back in to help out with like Gavin as an advisor and stuff like that. But now it's like he's stepping forward now. He's like, we need to have this resistance now. We need to be there, whether the New Republic falls or not. We need to be there to be the fighting forces, to be that underpunch, I guess you can say. Another yawn. I know. I didn't sleep well last night, but I'm good. I feel great otherwise. Unfortunately, I've only read the first X-Wing book. Let's see here. Michael Stackpole did a great job as well. Yes. Yeah. And like I said, those two complement each other so well in the series. And I would say that the Wraith Squadron is Alston's creation. The Wraith Squadron is Alston's creation, and that's another badass squadron. And we get them back here in this duology. Jaina and so Wedge and Luke and them were like agreeing, like they agreed with Jaina taking on Yunharla persona, and it's played so well in this duology. And Wraith Squadron gets involved because they are really good at playing undercover and being the squadron that they're basically our spies, undercover, all of that. So they have that character, they have that part of their persona, their job titles, who they are. And so we have that. And I wanted to share images of everybody involved in this because it's not just a singular person, but there are major players in this. And so you have Jaina Sola as Yunharla, and she's now in command. We have of the twin sons. Now Yuuzhan Vong. The Yuuzhan Vong. Now they want to smash, they want to get rid of what is left of the New Republic, and that's their fighting forces that now have, taken Borlaeus. And Vicky Shesh, I hate that character. Cornhorn. Cornhorn. I see that. She is being punished. She's captured and being punished. She was supposed to be executed for failing to capture Ben Skywalker. And so she uses her manipulative tactics to basically warn and say that Salvan-Law's new arm that he have put on him now is going to fail him. And so so she's pointing blame, she's deterring, deflecting so that she doesn't get killed, sacrificed, and stuff like that. So she's playing, basically burning her candles at both ends right now. But she also has a spy now within the company of Wedge and all of them. So that will be talked about a little bit more as we progress in this timeline. I'm not going to present all of that here now. We're just setting up this timeline here. I despise the Peace Brigade and Sal Solo with a passion that would make Vitiate go, damn, dude. Right? Is it Vitiate or I always fucking get his name wrong too. I apologize. But anyways, yeah, I get it. Had Dave Overton wrote a novel with Wedge Scran, would have said it's his favorite laugh out loud butts book. That's hilarious. That's hilarious. So there's a spy going on in the company of these guys now too. So he's planted there. There's a lot going on. And one funny thing is that we have Lando Calrissian involved too. So we have the major players here that we know and love, right? And he has his UVH droid or something like that involved. And I didn't make the clip. I should have made the freaking clip when I was driving. I was listening to the abridged audio of this on the Audible. And because I already read the book, so I'm just like using it to remember everything and what I want to talk about here. And I will make the clip. I'll share it on Twitter, and then I'll share it next week. But it's crazy because he has the Vong language translated, and in these droids, they basically say, and I'm paraphrasing, we are, what do they say? Damn it. We are, shit. Basically, they make fun of the Vong with their butt, how they hate droids and stuff like that. They hate technological stuff. So he's like, we are technological life or something like. I'm paraphrasing. I'm sorry, and we are better than the Vong. So they're saying that they're basically mocking the Vong with their presence and saying it in the Yuuzhan Vong language. And I'm like, damn. It's like one of those things where you go, damn, when you see it, because Lando really, really like basically punches them with that, using the Yuuzhan Vong language to insult them with technology. So that's friggin' amazing. So I'll have that clip ready for next week. That's a flex. Yes, that is a huge flex. Lando is like, he doesn't waste time. He brings it in, and he with great sarcasm and stuff like that, and hits him where it's hard, even psychologically. Let's see here. Kind of like reverse psychology in a way. Yeah. So there we go. So we are beginning this timeline. Great duology here. If you haven't got there, haven't read to that point yet, I hope this makes you look forward to getting to there. We are talking about events. So yes, there will be some spoilers for those who haven't read it, but I think it's going to be more or less like I want to read more into what she's talking about, because it's not a book review. This is just talking about the events in this timeline. And Lando has some cool moves. He sure does. And then you're like, oh, I want to know what exactly happens in these events and what Jaina and then we're doing with Yunharla, and all this other stuff. And we'll get more into that, the events with that. She really puts on the persona of Yunharla, Wraiths, a couple of Wraith Squadron members, help out with this. And of course, it's, with the Wraith Squadron, there's a lot of fun. It's serious business, but these guys are great characters. So the Yuuzhan Vong wanting to destroy, there's a spy implemented inside or planted inside the forces, the New Republic forces, and they don't know it yet. And so a lot of stuff going on. A lot of dire stuff going on. Soul Assassin says Shields say Lando got dunked on, but don't know how many times he saved the galaxy and swindled people out of their fortunes throughout the series. Correct. Yes, he's an amazing. He's basically a loyal man, and he's brilliant as well. Very, very brilliant. And so he there contributes a lot. There's a lot of times that he makes droids that help out, like the Jedi Order, the new Jedi Order and stuff like that with certain events and stuff. And this is one of them. And that continues on later on, like even in the Darkness trilogy. And so he is such a brilliant tactical man. All right. So yeah, so we're going to conclude this and we're going to get into our cringe factor. So just setting things up. The Yuuzhan Vong. We'll talk more of Yuuzhan Vong next week as well. I wanted to sit down and write some notes about what I wanted to talk about with them. But they are there is Sabang Law is now under threat with, his shaping of a new arm. Vicky Shesh is taking that to her advantage so she doesn't get executed, basically, for not being able to capture Ben Skywalker. She also through her ends with her ties with the Vong and cooperation, I guess you can say. Like I said, she's burning her candle at both ends, right? She implemented a spy, which is going to help her out with saving her life, I guess you could say, and trying to give Sabang Law and those more information on what's going on within the fleet, I guess the remaining fleet of the New Republic. And new characters I didn't introduce just yet. I will do that next week. And more of the state of the galaxy, more events going on in this timeline. So I'm very much excited for that. All right. So do the Yuuzhan Vong justify existence of the Empire and its policies? They can care less. They just want to, like, everybody is an infidel to them. Like, they're traitors. They're not worthy. And even if you're worthy, fighting style, warrior style, you're still sacrificed, or you still become a slave. Either or. So they can care less about the Empire and its policies. They can care less about the New Republic and its policies. And we'll get more into that as we come through the timeline here. There's one major event that Pelion plays in, and man, he is badass. He is badass in those events, and I'm excited to talk about that. But we have to get there first. We sure do. We have to get there first. All right. With that being said, we are gonna get into cringe factor. So let's go ahead and see what I want to play here, just to have a segue here. Let's play this. I think we need to pay homage to this.
I'm telling you, this finale, it's unbelievable how tepid contemporary art seemed compared to the passionate quality of this finale. So you have this like huge, it's like romantic nature painting, apocalyptic landscape of the lava. Lucas crosscuts the destruction of the Senate chamber, and you have the destruction of industry going on. And then, after all these horrors, it is so beautiful. I'm saying, oh my God, nothing in the last 30 years in any of the arts has been produced as emotionally compelling and significant as the finale of Revenge of the Sith.
And I've always leaned towards if we're going to create something, we should check and see if it existed already to the fans, because it has way more value if we bring that in. And It's like, why would I just replace it with something new? So if we're going to do an admiral, if we're going to do a big military leader, I could create a new guy, sure. But what about Thrawn? Thrawn is great. Thrawn is a character we all know. Thrawn has a lot of credibility. So then you ask yourself, is it right to use him? And can we use him in a way that's similar to the books? Or are we using him and it's going to go completely into left field? And there have been times when we wanted to use things from the EU, and I was like, yeah, but we can't use it that way, so why? I don't want to use it and change it. Mm-hmm. I don't want to use it and make it something completely different. That's rude.
uncivilized.
All right, so cringe factor. I told you what we're going to get into, so let's get down into the nitty-gritty of this cringe factor here. So let me pull this up here, and oh, that was weird. Okay. All right, so let's have the full screen view here for this as well. Cringe factor. Oh, wrong button. There we go. Cringe factor here. And Star Wars, let me go ahead and get out of these ads because I don't like them. All right. Star Wars got one thing right with its canceled Ben Solo movie. So this title is, and this is Screen Rat, and this is Mr. Bacon. We're going back to the Mr. Bacon slice here. So Thomas Bacon. And one thing that he gets wrong here is Ben Solo movie was not canceled because it was never a Lucasfilm project. And I don't know why many people think that this is something that is a Lucasfilm project. It was never a Lucasfilm project. It was proposed to Lucasfilm, but it was never something that Lucasfilm had on their tray or on their plate. So Screen Rat level of cringe, I agree. There we go. And let's see here. And he says that, but then makes fake version of Thrawn. I know. Nobody talks about David Tattersall's cinematography. His work on the prequels makes those films beautiful. Right. George chose the best, right? I agree. Why indeed Filoni for your craptastic galaxy? Let's see here. And it's going to be rude. 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 All right. So let's get into this. So many of you guys know it's been something that some people who are like, oh shit, what the hell, on our side would say that all fans want this. I say any self-respecting anti-Disney trilogy fan did not want this. So you see this, everybody, oh, the fans want this, the fans want this. See, this is why it's proof that the Disney trilogy is the best or is liked, is because everybody wants this Ben Solo movie. And then you have those that are supposed to be on our side that are like just wanting to give it to Disney. And even if it entails that they do agree on something. So Disney is the one that said no to this proposed project given to Lucasfilm. Again, you have to be careful with your words, because this is not a Lucasfilm project. This is something that was proposed to Lucasfilm. And when Lucasfilm gave it to Disney, they said no. So this is something they said no. Why? Because Ben Solo is dead. It's funny that Disney wants to keep continuity. Lucasfilm's like, oh, let's go ahead and take this proposal. We like this proposal. Let's go ahead and show our parent company. And they said no. So we have Mr. Bacon saying here, Star Wars got one thing right with its canceled Ben Solo movie. Well, what is that one thing? So Mr. Bacon is the author, of this article, basically. Author, because I think that this is just something that is fictional, cringe, all of that. It's an opinionated thing. So he is the author of this opinionated thing that gets a lot of shit wrong. We already know that. Okay, Kat, go on. Go, go, go. Go, go, go. The last week has been a great disturbance in the Force. And the Disney Star Wars fandom learned about another canceled movie. No, it's not canceled because it was never a production by Lucasfilm. It was just something that was proposed to them. Yes, they said scripts were written, but that's the burden the people who proposed this took on themselves. It's not a production that was under Lucasfilm. The aftermath of the Disney's Rise of Skywalker or Rise of Palpatine appeared to leave Disney Star Wars in a state of crisis, with Lucasfilm and Disney Lucasfilm unsure about the future direction of the big screen. In reality, it seems Disney Lucasfilm had a plan, but Disney CEO Bob Iger nixed it. Disney did not have a plan. So it is revealed that Kennedy did talk to Driver, but she also talked to Daisy, and got Driver excited about potentially returning. So Driver with other people basically put together this idea of this movie, written scripts for it, and proposed it to Lucasfilm. This was something that was never a project with Lucasfilm from the beginning. It was never a secret project. They made it clear that it was not a Lucasfilm production. It was something that was proposed to Lucasfilm. All right, so Adam Driver has revealed that a sequel pitch. So see, he pitched it. And this is what I'm talking about. It's not a Lucasfilm production. Written by the celebrated Steven Soderbergh, who have seen his character Ben Solo return. Operating under the codename Quiet Leaves, the hunt for Ben Solo had a finalized screenplay. So it was a screenplay, not script. I'm stand corrected. And was entering early prep and staffing stages. Now, again, this was a pitch. They were taking this on themselves and they pitched it towards Lucasfilm. So they were doing everything on their own. This was not a Lucasfilm production. This is something that needs to be cleared. Then Disney executive Bob Iger and Alan Bergman saw it and decided they didn't like the idea of Ben Solo's apparent resurrection. Again, they're like, he's dead. We're going to keep with continuity, which is kind of funny because, wasn't that Luke's quote, or Disney Star Wars Luke's quote, like, no one is really gone or something like that? And there's this historical time, or this, like, I wouldn't say historical, but there's basically, well, you could say historical, I don't know, of, a lot of characters returning, but majority of them are in the Disney Star Wars lore realm and not necessarily, holy shit, hold on, not necessarily, in the Lucasfilm era. All right, nope, you are not playing with my stuff, sorry. Stop it. My cat got a hold of some beads, strings of beads, and wants to play with them. All right. All right, so we're back. So they said no, and they want to keep continuity. All of a sudden, now everybody who either hates Disney and wants to use this to get back at Disney and praise it, or even the Disney Star Wars fan are like, we don't care if continuity is broken. So that's the state of Star Wars today. That's the state of Star Wars today. It's clearly yet another missed opportunity for Disney Star Wars. Missed opportunity. Again, Mr. Bacon, you don't care about continuity either. And then that's the big thing. They're like, oh, we want it, like Lucasfilm, when they made the statement about tossing the EU. One of the main factors of the lore, like that was like 90, I would say 85%, maybe 90% of the lore tossed to have a clean slate. Then they're like saying, oh yeah, and we're going to make this even better in continuity. It's going to be seamless. It's going to be all one continuity throughout all the medias. And now they're like, maybe Lucasfilm, Disney Lucasfilm, and their fans are upset. They want the show. They don't care about their continuity. Oh, there's ways to bring him back because he's a Force user. And you hear that. Like, and then no one's really gone. You've seen that. So, as proven by a growing online fan campaign that has even seen a Times Square billboard and flyover of Disney Studios in Burbank, California, Disney has accomplished the seemingly impossible, uniting the typical diverse Star Wars fandom, just not quite the way Iger would have wanted. Now, does Iger even care? No, he doesn't. So there's no want from Iger on unification of the Star Wars fandom. Now, how many of you guys are aware or have seen the campaign for the continuation of the expanded universe? So when in the early years of Disney's ownership of Lucasfilm, there was that campaign to continue the EU. I missed the first campaign, but I helped out with the second by donating and sharing it on my channel. And so there was 2 billboards that were put outside of Lucasfilm headquarters. Now, did that help? No, not really. But it made them see that what we wanted, but it didn't help. Now, you guys remember the Acolytes campaign as well, right? That didn't help. In fact, there was really no season 2. Even Leslie Headland has said that there was no plan for a season 2. You can look it up. You can research it. There was no plan for season 2. So what makes them think that this is going to help them with this? This is not even a Lucasfilm production. Like the EU came from Lucasfilm, right? It came from Lucasfilm pre-Disney. And Acolyte is a Disney production. They didn't care. So all this money spent, sure. Notice me. I like this content, right? But they don't give a shit. They don't give a shit about fans. They don't. They're a corporation. They are a corporation. All right. But oddly, there's just one good thing about this unfortunate decision. The fact that it has taken us so long to learn about the hunt for Ben Solo. So he's assuming, Mr. Bacon is assuming that this was a secret project under Lucasfilm, which is not the fact, because I'm not saying it, there's no if, ands, or but about it. Disney shot it down. Disney is the parent company. They have a right. So if you want to compare ownerships here, if George Lucas did not want something published or made under the Disney or under the Star Wars faction under him, he vetoed it. He stopped the product from happening. He stopped the production. He stopped the story, the novel. He vetoed it, whatever. Disney is in that part too. And they're saying no. So this right here, and any project that's coming out through, I would like to think, any project that's coming out through Lucasfilm has to have an approval, a starting approval from their parent company. So Star Wars has struggled to keep things a secret. Oh, Star Wars, huh? So this was a secret. This wasn't just an idea of just Adam Driver and them, right? Because it sounded like the way everything that Adam Driver, what he says, was like they worked on this and then went and took it to propose to Lucasfilm. So it's not a matter of keeping it secret. It's just a matter like it wasn't even an afterthought of Lucasfilm on this kind of production, because it wasn't part of their production timeline, because it didn't exist under them. This is oddly something of a historic moment for Star Wars. And historic. Oh my God, this is being hyperbolic. Oh my God. According to Driver and Soderbergh, Lucasfilm successfully kept the hunt for Ben Solo secret for 3 years. It's not a Lucasfilm production. There's nothing about keeping it secret because it wasn't even theirs. It was proposed to them after the fact. That you even said it here. And they're only speaking about it now because it's clearly been fully canceled. No, it wasn't a Lucasfilm production to even be canceled. It was denied. It didn't get past anything. They're like, nope, we don't want it. It wasn't canceled. Not under the sense of a Lucasfilm production. As Lucasfilm President Kennedy herself has noted, most Star Wars developments tend to leak, and as she explains. So here we go. This is Kennedy, I guess. What's troubling and frustrating is that our development gets scrutinized, and I don't know any other production company where their development gets scrutinized like that. It's very hard for anything to happen within Star Wars without some aspect of it becoming public before you even want it to become public. Well, George Lucas did a good job with that. He kept things under wraps for a lot of projects. So I guess managing the message in some way is also quite a challenge because, of course, not every single thing we put in development we are going to make. So yeah, that's a tricky one because a lot of the scrutiny around Star Wars and the negativity has been about development. Well, yeah, because you're not doing a good job with anything you're doing, Kennedy. Of course, we're going to develop a lot of different things with and understanding that not everything gets made. And that's just the history of like creativity and franchises and stuff. There's things that maybe like you could look it up now, but there's many books that were vetoed that maybe a lot of us or you don't know about, right? That's just the way it goes. Some things get greenlit because they work well with the vision of the story. Some things don't. Some things don't even see light of day that we don't even know about. The Hunt for Ben Solo was different. It got to the final stages of pre-production, signed off from Disney, and yet there were no reports, no leaks. There was no sign off from Disney because they denied it. They said no. When he proposed it, they said no. When the screenplay got to them, they said no. It wasn't even a Lucasfilm production. The secrecy is particularly impressive given this was developed during Bob Chapek's tenure as Disney CEO, with Iger taking over again in November 2022. Chapek, eager for good news, tended to push Lucasfilm to be as open as possible. Whatever your views may be about Star Wars, Disney Star's future direction, Disney Lucasfilm does at least appear to have learned how to control the flow of information. The Hunt for Ben Solo was the first example, an entire film project that got to sign off from Disney without being leaked. No, it wasn't. They got a no. It was the screenplay was proposed to, and they said no. They canceled it. No, see, now I'm using those fucking words. They basically halted it. They stopped it from being produced by Lucasfilm because Ben is dead. So I am done here. What do you guys think? Let's see here. They really like to push the blame onto others, huh? The Hunt for Ben Solo equals the Snyder Cut. I don't know. I don't see it like that at all. If they have another Solo or Dial of Destiny on their hands, I hope they get Kennedy fired, but I would prefer Lucasfilm be sold. Adam Driver Public confirmed it was canceled. It's not a leak. Let's see here. Have you seen the Spider-Man meme? The one that points at, yeah, I know what you're talking about here. Let's see here. Let me see what you guys are saying. I'm scrolling up from the bottom. Someone said the article says more than it intended. That a lot of announced projects never got greenlit or okayed from Iger. There's things that, like I said, there's things that we may not know about and that didn't even get passed. And that's fine, like I said. And but this production here wasn't even a Lucasfilm production. It was proposed to them. And that's the difference. It was proposed to them. Maybe Disney should let the whiniest fans write new spin-offs and sequels. The whole idea was we will shoot it on TV sets on the volume on the Alexa and do it on the cheap to make an easy profit. Favreau couldn't even do that. And the thing is, if this was a Lucasfilm production, then there would be money invested in there from Lucasfilm. And there wasn't. This is something that Adam and Soderbergh did by themselves on their own, with the hopes that Kennedy, Lucasfilm, and Disney would give it okay for them to produce it, for it to be there, to produce it. And it was shot down. And it was shot down. I was there, OG, years ago, before when it was just Wilkins and a few other Star Wars channels, back when Lucas era was the top priority to save. I am an Elrond of Rivendell of Star Wars. Oh my goodness. So there you go, you guys. There you go. Another Disney BS here. Let me see. Where does the near mythic status Favreau's get from the fans come from? He is at best confident as a director when he knows his place, but he is lost on Disney Star Wars. Yes, he is. I agree. I agree. So there you go. There's Cringe Factor. And the hyperbolic take from Mr. Bacon about the Ben Solo movie, I guess you could say. Screenplays were proposed to Lucasfilm, then taken to from Lucasfilm to Disney. So the chain of command, Disney said no because Ben is dead. It's kind of, I would say ironically, basically. I don't know if it's ironic or what. I don't know. Keeping continuity. Their no is about keeping continuity. And, you know, being an EU fan and talking about continuity, well, I'm more than just an EU fan. I'm a George Lucas era Star Wars fan, like pre-Disney Star Wars fan, right? And talking about the brilliance of the continuity, how it's a single continuity, and how, you know, how well it was kept and stuff like that. And then you have the anti-EU Disney shills who come and say, oh no, it was so terrible, it was horrible, and that's and Disney is doing it so much better and stuff. And now look at them. They don't even give a shit about continuity. They want this movie. There is no Lucasfilm, only Disney. Like there is no Dana, only Zool. So there you go. It's very telling, very much telling that these people who tear down the EU, like these anti-EU people about continuity and how bad it was, blah, 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 then to raise up Disney's version and saying they keep it better track, are revealing that they don't care about continuity. Yeah, you agree. I agree. They don't know the meaning of the word. Diddley Squat says, I guess he got lucky because the cast of the Iron Man carried his entire work with improv. Yeah, you're talking about Favreau. Just like Gunn got all the hype because he was handed a fully made Game of Thrones movie? Oh, I screwed that one up. And only had to put in his name on it. Yeah. OG, I sent you a video. You think Adam Driver wants to deal with the Reylos again? Oh, yeah, that's the thing. Let me see here. Let me go back to Twitter real quick. It matters to me. Let me see here. Let me find that. And then we're going to go ahead and end here because I got to get ready. I got to take my car to the dealership for an oil change and stuff. Let me see here. Send link. Oh, yeah. This one right. Oh, Is this the one that you sent me? Yeah, it is. I don't know which one you wanted to put up. Oh, okay. I got it. Oji taking her speeder to Tashi Station. I am. Let me go ahead and remove this. Oh, wait. No. Yeah, I got to remove. Stop screen. Let's see here. Share screen. All right. Let's see what he is getting us into now. This is from Soul Assassin.
There's been no one for so long. Who are you? Right.
Not you. Not you. Oh God. No. No.
Please no. Please no. Where's Ben? Where the fuck is Ben?
Ray Skywalker.
Wow. All right, you guys. Thank you for hanging out with me. Had a great time. We're going to move it on through the enemy line 1 and 2 of the new Jedi Order event lore talk next week. So stay tuned for that. Some more on the Yuuzhan Vong and what they are planning against the faltering or destroyed New Republic, I guess you could say. And a little bit more about Wedge's plan and what's going on with that. And so I look forward to that as well. So you guys have a good day. And of course, look forward to Cringe Factor and other Star Wars news and stuff like that. And you guys are amazing. And remember, always to drink your coffee.
Caf. Lots of it. For me and for the Ready Room. I have a feeling this mission is not one we can fly in our sleep.
That's just a rumor that has kind of crawled up through fandom for years and years and years. I know that Tim met George Lucas. They had a sit-down conversation before the first book was done. I know that as with any of the novels, everything is cleared through LucasFilm, and 100% for anything as major as a love interest being developed for Luke. That's a decision that George would have given a yes or no on.
And as always, if you're catching the replay, thank you so much. Let me know you were here and smash the like button and share the stream out and let me know your thoughts on all that we talked about. And those channel members, thank you so much for your continued support, as well as a subscriber, blah, blah, blah. And I will promise you guys, this Sunday, we will have our book club, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and book 5 or 6 or 7 or something like that. See, it's been a while. I forgot. But anyways, you guys have a great day, and may the Force be with you.
Another happy landing.